Hi YouTube, it's Alan Sagano. I'm the president of ADS Consulting Group, and today's topic is about ChatGPT. So if you haven't played around with it, you might want to check it out. I'll put the link here on how you can sign up for an account. It will ask you a few questions like your email address, your phone number, and setting up a password, etc. But it is pretty good. We use it to help write blog posts. You can use it to craft out, like if you're going to blast out an email. You can use it for language on your website, SEO, your language on your website, marketing, any marketing material, travel recommendations, restaurants recommendations, how to explain technical topics to a non-technical person. So that you can almost, there's so many use cases. You can actually, there's another YouTube video where somebody wrote an interface to hook ChatGPT into Excel. So if you had a question about, I need a formula to write blah, 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 you can just ask it and it'll come back and hopefully give you the right answer. A couple of caveats. One is never post any confidential information on ChatGPT. That would just not be smart. Also, so in other words, don't go, hey, is this my social security number, blah, 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 blah. Is it showing up any of that? Would be a really bad idea. Be specific. The more specific you can ask it, the better response it's probably going to give you. Other things that we found is you need to review the output. Sometimes it will, because it was trained, I think, 2021, 2022, it doesn't have super current information. So sometimes the answers it will give you will be flat out wrong. They won't be like, well, that's kind of, no, they'll just be wrong. So you need to read the content. We found that it's maybe 90% there, and we still recommend, copying the output and then putting your own spin on it or doing some editing. But we found, especially for, web content and stuff, it's actually, you're much more efficient and effective of writing a lot of pretty good material in a relatively short amount of time. But we would never recommend taking the output and posting it directly. That would be not smart. But I would say it's also really good for spurring ideas. So, hey, I need what would be really good context for, what would be really good subjects for blah, 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 or whatever. It'll kind of give you some stuff. And a lot of times you're like, no, oh, this one's pretty good. And then hey, write a blog post about da-da-da-da-da. So it's really good for that. It is a useful tool. Of course, it has its downsides. They always talked about, like deep fakes and some other stuff, and writing material that sounds just to mislead somebody that sounds super convincing. So there is, just like anything else, there's a dark side to it. But I think there's definitely a lot of really good use cases for it for any business. I don't care what business you're in. And guess what? Your competitors are going to be doing it. So, if you want to stay competitive, you're going to probably have to bone up and figure out how to use it. Just play around with it. We found it to be pretty useful, especially if you have like a writer's block and you're like, well, I just need to put out something, but it kind of needs to be like this. I just can't think of a topic. It's really good for doing that. Sometimes I get that too, where I get a writer's block, but I'm pretty good at identifying something when I see it. I go, ooh, that looks good. So it's really good for that kind of stuff. So I would recommend checking it out, just playing with it. Again, be specific. The more specific you can be, the better results it's going to generate. You can also click regenerate if you don't like the results, and it'll ask you, hey, was the first one or the second one better? You could say neither one because they were both terrible or whatever. So anyway, that's our tip of the week. If you're curious about it, I would recommend just setting up for an account. It's free. There is a paid for version, which gives you priority on processing and some other stuff. But, just kick the wheels, see what it's all about, what the hype is about. And you may be able to find some use cases for it in your business. I would argue that every business probably could have some use case for ChatGPT. So that's our tip of the week. If you like this content, please boink, hit the subscribe button, boink, hit the like button. It does help out the channel. Stay safe out there. No confidential information in ChatGPT, please, please, please. And thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.